welcome back to my cup of TV with Jenny,
JD,
and Kat.
So, Vampire Diaries, Season 4, Episode 7, My Brother's Keeper. I volunteer for this job. I don't care if it's Damon asking, Stefan asking, Klaus asking, Elijah. I will take the brothers.
There's lots of brothers, yeah.
Jeremy, I'll look after Jeremy. We'll see the fallout of the breakup.
Yeah. And the death of Klaus.
Yeah.
I can't say that name normally. Death of Klaus.
Yeah.
And Jeremy now being the new
Hunter. And now that we already knew. We knew straight away. But now that Damon is aware that Professor Shane may be a bit shifty. Shifty Shane, that's what we'll call him.
And, well, there's going to be some other names, depending on how he turns out to be. How is Damon going to find out? And it may not be something they make a big deal of, because sometimes they skip over it. Do you know what I mean? You find that they've been filled in. But how's he going to find out that they have broken up now? They've basically decided they've gone their separate ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because like we said before, he's been taking this high road about it and not inserting himself in their relationship or whatnot. He's been taking that step back after she made her choice. So how's that gonna go down?
Okay. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Over on Patreon you can watch these as full-length reactions, or you can have YouTube membership, which gets you 2 episodes ahead over on YouTube. Question for the comments. I mentioned it before this. If people in the Vampire Diaries were to have pets, what kind of pet do you think they would have? Like, who's a cat person? Who's a dog person? Stefan can't have pets because he'd eat. No, he wouldn't eat them, but it would be conflicting. He'd be like, do they know?
Yeah.
I'm not depressed. I just want to rip into someone's artery.
Well, you can't. As your sober sponsor, I'm not going to let that happen.
She said she has feelings for Damon.
What? She had feelings for Damon? Look,
I like that he has
be
someone to
careful.
turn to,
Remember,
though.
there's sublimating, and then there's...
Elena and I broke up. Go get drunk. Brother bombed over some tri-notes. If you know, want some quality time, let's not pretend like this isn't the best day of your life.
That's not really very fair. I don't think Damon gave him any reason to think that, did he?
I think Stefan needs to put his anger somewhere.
I was going to say he's lashing out, I think.
And it's the easy place to put it. I know we've talked before about people who lash out at people, a safe person. I can lash out at this person and not lose them.
Yeah.
And it's not like Damon hasn't been an issue in their relationship, you know.
True. But it's not... Damon has no idea why they've broken up.
No.
Yeah.
But I do like that he's trying there to be the brother.
Yeah.
You know, he's put... His priority hasn't been to go to Elena.
No.
He just went,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
alright, well, we need to do this. And
I almost feel like when he said, like, do you want to come and do this?
Distraction.
And, you know, a mission, let's...
yeah, let's focus on what we were going to do in the first place, because we're trying to save Elena, but maybe he doesn't want to do that anymore, I don't know.
Yeah. Because I don't know, like, throughout their... We know that obviously they had some time apart, however 100 years ago or whatever, but their sort of dating history, I don't think they've ever been in this position before where one of them has broken up with someone they genuinely cared about and the other one could be there for them. Do you know what I mean? I just it hasn't happened. So we've
had the impression that their relationship has been difficult, and in a way, she's, as much as she can tear them apart, she's also brought them together.
Yeah.
But I also like I say it's like a small detail, but the fact that he is now struggling with his blood addiction again, it's realistic. Something like this is going to make him...
fall
Yeah,
off the
so
wagon.
he's... Again, it's one of those things that they haven't gone, well, he's cured it now, and so that's it, it's forgotten. It's like, it's always going to be there.
That's, more realistic.
Yeah.
Ever since I was woken as a hunter, I've had all this energy, like all the time.
Jerry, I think you need to talk to someone about this. I mean, look what happened to Connor, okay? A byproduct of this energy is that you're going to want to kill vampires.
It's true, actually. I did think that Connor was, although he was mission driven, he was very aggressive, like all the time, very shouty and whatnot, you know?
Like an uncontrollable urge.
Why is there a cop outside? I'm a convicted murderer. You guilty? Of course I am. Any regrets? Only that I got caught.
They're making vampires for Jeremy to kill.
Red one, definitely.
We've already agreed that the red one's a little bit too showy. Nobody cares what you think. I care.
See? April cares. Red.
The road is pretty.
And my work here is done.
What happened?
How did you convince the pastor to kill all those people? Did you just accuse me of mass murder in the middle of a high school pageant?
Because we all know where you don't accuse people of mass murder is pageants.
A high school pageant.
Don't get blood on his nice suit.
Was this also I get staken? I don't want to do this, Johnny. Look at me. I hate this. I don't want to do this. But your sister isn't supposed to be a vampire, and we need to help her. Tell me how.
But I don't think Elena would want the cure at the expense of Jeremy.
No.
This is gonna go badly.
Will you guys pick up the tempo? This is a pageant, not a funeral.
And how am I doing?
Oh, he looks nice in a modern suit.
They didn't waste any time, did they?
See, she's, I think, should be pissed off even though she knows it's a ruse. They didn't. I don't know if they told her about this bit of it. Ooh, she went for the red. Looks lovely.
I got this.
Aww. As though she didn't already have a crush.
It's nice that they're doing this again for continuation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's realistic that we're saying
It happens
the event
every year.
happens every year. Yeah. Oh, bring back some memories.
Matt said that Jeremy's been having nightmares about killing vampires and he's been hiding it from me.
Relax, I'm sure it's fine.
I don't know, I have a bad feeling.
If I'm not worried, you shouldn't be worried. Let it go. I'll go look for him.
Damon's also very good at poker face,
Yeah.
at hiding when he's actually concerned about something.
Fine, for intervention. I think your so-called feelings for Damon are really starting to cloud your judgment, and I don't like it. And the thought of you two together really makes me want to bark.
It's enough. You're making a scene.
I mean, I know there's a reason behind it,
How did I become bad?
but Elena could throw back. You're here with Klaus.
Elena needs a cure. Alright. So you can turn her back and the girl's still in love with you. Yeah. Well, I get why you wouldn't want to believe that Damon would be choosing herself anymore.
Yeah, why is he still on such a mission to get the cure?
Because he wants a
How
lady
far did
back.
Mark grow? How far is it, Jeremy? Said I can't. Answer me. Or I will make you answer me. I'm not telling you anything. What does Mark look like?
Oh, he can't compel him
I guess I
anymore.
can't be compelled anymore.
Kind of asking for that though, Stefan.
Fucking hell, Stefan, you got us right up in there.
Chair of the Mystic Falls Beautification Committee and the director of the Policeman's Yearly
This mystic application? Where did you get that?
When I am chosen, I intend to redefine excellence. Now, I'm really enjoying your use of when here. It's very confident.
And even if you complete the work and get the map, the thing that you're looking for is sealed with a spell only a certain kind of witch can perform.
You're a big boy, you can figure this one out.
I'm betting which.
Aren't too many of those lying around, as we're sure you know. So none of this matters until Bonnie's back in touch with her magic. Between the two of us, who do you think she trusts to help her get there?
Now my question here would be, what's in it for you, fella?
Yeah.
And now,
I would never do anything to hurt you.
If you stabbed him in the neck in the last episode.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Oh. Just.
wake up.
Well, it's fair.
Yeah.
They both stabbed each other in the neck now.
Do this, okay? That's your sister. It's that stupid mark on your arm. Shut up, Matt! Jeremy, look at me. I'm human, and I'm telling you not to hurt her.
Tell me that you haven't been making him kill vampires, Stefan.
We need the map to get the cure.
If getting my humanity back means stripping Jeremy of his, then I don't want the cure.
He's the only way to fix all of this.
You mean me? This is who I am now. The old Elena died and she went off that bridge. Let her go.
So she's accepted who she is now, but he hasn't yet.
That's why I was confused earlier. I was like, why is he still so driven for the cure?
He's like, he needs to go through the grieving process.
Yeah.
What are you
It's
doing?
interesting. He broke up with her, but he still hasn't fully let go.
Can
Yeah.
you keep living here? Why she moved out and asked me to move in.
What? Where's Elena gonna go?
Damon's. Smart lady.
I can't stay at home anymore.
I'll crush some roast.
But I don't understand why she hasn't gone to live in Matt's house, which is now empty.
There's overtime.
You know what I think? I don't think I've ever seen you more alive.
I wonder if we get Cat's wish of hot vampire sex.
Ed and a fireplace.
You can't give up on her.
Caroline, she looked me in the eye and she told me to move on.
She's lost. Okay, you and her. There's something wrong with her.
So you've got to respect your friend's decisions, though.
Oh.
I was trying to understand why Klaus was so intrigued by Damon and Elena. He said we'd figure it out. This is what he was talking about.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Every time Elena's had a problem, Damon's been the magic solution.
She's side to Damon.
And
Yep.
she tried to drink from animals.
Yes.
She couldn't keep it down.
And blood bags.
Same thing.
But who turned her?
Name one
Damon.
vampire in the history of vampires.
Well, we don't know whose blood she had in her veins from the doctor from the hospital,
Damon's
right?
blood.
So it was, okay.
Elena's sire to Damon.
Oh, too late.
Presumably, neither of them know this though.
So, where do we start?
Well, because that's just happened there and that's still fresh there.
Yeah.
So can I just clarify? So the siren bond thing, is that more of what we've seen so far from a hybrid and a werewolf thing, but not necessarily from vampires? Or is it a vampire thing? Because they were talking about it in a way that it wasn't normal.
Well, Caroline said it's rare, but it seems they are aware that it happens.
Right. Okay.
And she was turned by Damon's blood because remember Dr. Fell, as Damon said, blood jacked him.
Yeah. Because that's what I mean. For a minute in my mind, I was thinking back and I was like, shit, how did she get turned? It was the hospital. It was the hospital and then off the bridge. And so it wasn't like we saw Damon change her or anything like that. So I was just going back and I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
So do we think Damon knows that she's side to him?
Don't know.
that means Jenny knows, but she's not answering. So I reckon from what we've seen so far, I don't think he does, because if he does, there's a question of whether or not she's doing that or making the decisions in her right mind, quote unquote, if you know what I mean. Because if the sire is leading the way rather than her genuine choice, and what we saw of Damon from the last few episodes was that he was stepping back because he wanted her to go from a place of genuine choice. He didn't want to be a default or a rebound or a second or a next best option. So I don't know if he does. You know what I mean? Because if he did, then it would be questionable of, is she actually able to make her own decisions?
I think it's been really cleverly drip fed.
It's been hidden, hasn't
that
it?
When you watch it back, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Things like where Caroline was
listing things. And that's why she had
things.
such a good time at the party. And that's why she felt free. Whereas I suppose any other time where she's been trying to learn how to be a vampire, she's been ill and not being able to keep it down. But when she was at the party, she was having, in a way, full permission from her sire. And
well, like they said, Damon said animal
time.
Blood would be no good, so she couldn't do it. He said has to be from the veins, so even a blood bag wasn't doing it.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, I don't think he would have said those things having known that he had that control over her, that he would be putting those actual limitations on her. I don't think he would have if he knew. That's just my feel.
And I like just all the small things. Like I said, that when you watch it back, things like they agreed that the blue dress was best, but then Damon said the red one.
Yes, that was the weirdest. Yeah. That was the weirdest. That was when we were getting to a point where we were like, hang on a minute, we know that you've now come to a place where you admit you have feelings for him.
Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything.
But don't fucking lose your own identity, mate. Yeah.
Or when she was worried about Jeremy and he said, don't worry about it, I'll deal with it. And then she's like, oh, okay, Damon's going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Elena of before would have been like, I'm coming with you. Like,
Yeah, it's true. And it's interesting, isn't it, to sort of question and pull up that thread of that sire. Well, what's the opposite of a sire? If the sire is kind of the master, what's the name of the person?
Sire.
Yeah, the sire and sire. That dynamic of conformity and compulsion of having to follow. It would be interesting to know that, because like you say, we were getting hints there where she actually wasn't even herself.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So it's like, you know, you want to know that.
But it's very interesting the way it's worked is that so much of it's been put down to, well, she's a vampire now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but certain things, like you say, looking back.
You could compare it in a way to maybe during puberty, during teenage years, where mental health conditions start to show themselves, but people put things down to it's just teenage hormones, it's just teenagers being teenagers.
Definitely. And that's what I mean. So it would be, for me, what I would want from a sire and a siree would be, yes, I have a mutual respect and a type of loyalty, but not like a fucking command and answer like a dog and a master. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Because again, that's what I mean. It goes into that territory of, well, is she actually making these decisions from a place of genuine choice, or is she kind of being manipulated by the circumstances unawares, you know? And that's not, so...
Well, our only experience of it is with Klaus.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, they weren't looking to spot it. Yeah, I don't blame anyone, because they weren't looking to spot it, and it all happened by accident, even her having his blood in her veins and dying at that time, so no one's fault. But yeah... Interesting.
Do we think that because she had feelings for him, that sort of made it work, like part of why there's a sire bond in the first place? Because we don't know how they work, right?
No. We just know that it's a given with the hybrids.
Yeah.
I think what we can ascertain from this is that Stefan's possibly now going to be like, right, how do I get rid of that bond so I can have my girlfriend back? Because this is going to give him hope that actually this whole time, she's not been the version of herself.
Yes,
that,
but also Stefan's done quite a lot of damage here.
For sure.
By getting Jeremy to kill a load of vampires.
Yeah.
Where at what point, at some point, people have to stop forgiving each other for all this shit that is going on.
Or just let go.
He shouldn't have done that, and now you're in a situation
Yeah, we're very much seeing a role reversal on the fact that Damon's the one saying, well, we need to find another option because Jeremy
can't
doesn't
use
get
Jeremy.
involved.
Yeah.
Whereas Stefan's gone, well, we fucking got one here, so we'll use
And not only am I going to do it, but I'm going to do it behind her back.
Yeah.
Which tells you that he...
And I've only told her when I had to.
Yeah. But again, it just shows that he's fully aware that he's in the wrong, because that's why he's hiding it.
Yeah.
Because now she knows about the cure, there's no reason to hide it.
Yeah.
I think there is that thing with Stefan sometimes. I think Damon does a lot of stuff, but he does a lot of it out in the open.
Yeah.
And like he referred to Stefan at the beginning of this as Shady Stefan.
Yeah.
And I think it's right. He's
Yeah, it wasn't far off, yeah.
He's not...
Yeah, that's the thing with Stefan. Yes, he is at his core a good person.
But he can teach her into self-righteous.
He can, and he can be shady. Yeah. I think it's a bit like we've had before with Bonnie.
Yeah.
He puts himself in this higher moral standing and then does something for the greater good, so that excuses what I've done.
Like the pastor who blew up the house full of people. You're like, that's not your decision to make. Because it's causing damage.
No one knows why he did that, and I reckon he was hypnotised.
Oh, a phone call a day keeps the hypnosis
That's my new
in
theory.
check. That doesn't rhyme. You know what I mean? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Stefan had a lot going on in this episode. He's obviously struggling.
What's interesting though, okay, so that last conversation there with Stefan and Caroline, and I totally get it, Kat was like, I don't like this side of Caroline, it's pushy, it's but ironically she was right. She was like, this is not my friend. So, and again, because I was getting quite irritated as well by that version of Caroline, because I was like, at what point do you know, okay, you may not agree with her decisions, you know, or you know, to a certain extent, but it's not like she's picking some toxic druggie or what, you know what I mean? Like she just...
But let's not forget Caroline's experience of being with Damon.
Yeah, and also Caroline's personality personified as a vampire is that control freak that she likes to be.
She's actually showing in that whole thing the Caroline of old.
Yes,
which, you know, is
and
that's going to go away.
That's why I was getting a bit irritated, because I was like, oh, this is not your best self, Caroline. But ironically enough, she did spot it and she figured it out. So actually, there is something potentially to obviously what she's saying.
There is also that side though of you may not like her choice, but you don't get to dictate who she dates.
No,
especially if she's saying to you, yes, I know Stefan's a great guy, but I'm not happy with him.
Yeah, I'm not into him.
What she, you know, you need to.
Yeah. And she's got to let it go just as much. And also, it's not fair on Stefan. If you keep saying to him,
giving him hope,
she'll come around. She's crazy. Like, no.
But then again, would Caroline be acting this way about Stefan if there wasn't the Damon issue? If Elena was just like, I've broken up with Stefan because I don't want to be with him.
Yeah.
Would she be like, oh, that's really sad, but okay.
Yeah. But she thinks she's in a situation of an either or.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. Because, that would be... Okay, if I was in Caroline's shoes and I was trying to talk to my friend, I would not be saying, don't go after this guy, because obviously you're basically going to push them towards each other.
And also
I would be saying...
can't dictate.
For sure, of course. But as a friend, you would say, my opinion is I think you need to take a beat. Take a break. Be on your own. Be single. Don't rush into anything. Do you know what I mean? I think that would have been the way to approach it, rather than... don't go for this person and kind of try to undermine her decision.
Yeah.
Rather than encourage her to have some time, you know, between guys, as she did.
Yeah.
That would have been a way where you could maintain your friendship rather than not being like you don't agree with her decision.
I think it's a shame that Bonnie wasn't there, because I think Bonnie would have been a lot more reasonable. Even though Bonnie has her issues with Damon, I think she would have been a bit more reasonable about, okay, you don't want to be with Stefan and that's okay.
There's certain things, I wonder if they didn't have Bonnie there. Again, we don't know, she just wasn't around for a Bonnie episode, but which is not character's fault. I mean, writing wise, we're just like, oh,
they do this with Bonnie.
Yeah,
she just
what
disappears.
happened? She's an awesome character.
So, she's at home practicing magic.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cop out. But maybe it's because if she was there, she would have noticed more of those things, because that compulsion kind of thing is almost like bordering on a witchcraft compulsion or whatever. So there's potential there that Bonnie might have picked up on those things. I actually really like that it was Caroline being the detective.
I think that Bonnie might have picked up on it only because Bonnie, I think, would have been listening to the back and forth more.
Yes.
without.
She's very.
Whereas Caroline is very
observant.
putting her opinions out.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie would be more
taking in information, reading the room, reading the yeah. So yeah. But anyway.
One bit that kind of always hits me in this episode is when Elena is telling Damon why they've broken up, and she says "you," and he looks surprised, it's like an "oh my god, you've chosen me." Like he's surprised that she has.
I got that as, and again as an audience member, what I was waiting for, and also reading Damon's face. I think he was like waiting for her to then finish a sentence, like it was a beginning of a sentence. Then she didn't say anything, and he's like, is she actually saying it?
Almost like you're hinting at it. Can you confirm?
Am I being chosen?
Yeah.
Because it's been so long and he's never chosen that it's almost like he can't quite believe. Like, is that it? Or like, is that real?
And almost like maybe there's been moments where he's thought that could happen and it hasn't. So it's like, I need the confirmation. Can you put it in writing?
Yes.
But this is also why I think he doesn't know about the sire bond.
Yes, true. Because he wouldn't have looked that surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he does. Because I think he wants to be chosen genuinely, not through some sort of a weird compulsion. I think he wants to be chosen because he is chosen.
So we'll go back to Caroline and her date.
I just want to say,
Caroline.
I'm sorry.
her hair and Caroline, her dress looked lovely. Because she went from having the curly hair, didn't she, wavy, and then the black. It was lovely. So nice. Everyone, all the Miss Mystic Falls dresses, everything was lovely.
So she had her date with Klaus.
He looked nice in a modern suit. I don't feel like, why do I feel like I haven't seen him in I've seen him in like the old-timey suit, like the cream one.
I think we've seen him in a modern suit, but not often.
Was it like a bow tie or? But I just feel like
I've seen him in black tie.
I haven't seen him in that style, and that was nice.
What I liked about this was he was quite relaxed. He wasn't thinking through a plan or
he wasn't
plotting or trying to get one over.
He wasn't
on
in
someone.
the midst of a plan and a step in the plot.
And I also felt like the scene where he's reading Caroline's Miss Mystic thing, there was no bravado. That was what it was. He was just genuinely having a laugh.
Yeah. And it's like, see, that's what you need to do if you wish to start and gaining a foundation of an actual friendship, getting to know someone. Don't be a dick.
Well, that's the thing. I think you saw a bit of, I say connection, not like a moment of, oh my God.
No,
right.
just a genuine laughter. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And Tyler could see it.
Yes.
Yes, but this is the problem, I think. Caroline's obviously agreed to go on this date with Klaus because they needed whatever, and she's keeping up this pretense that her and... But Tyler, by the looks of it, did not let her know that he was then going to come...
I know. Again, stupid boy moment.
So,
stupid man moment.
There's a bit of a communication thing going on, and Hayley...
Well.
I think it's Tyler is very focused on this saving the hybrids. And so he's not fully focused on Caroline.
Men are shit at multitasking.
Yeah. But
why can't he do both?
But again, in your relationship, you shouldn't have to be fully focused at all times. You should be able to.
But I'm sorry, are we in the Stone Ages? A text message, a voice note, a even through the day. Okay, a little wink, wink, caw-caw. Okay, meet me in the toilets. Have a little moment together. Like we're literally seeing no communication.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where absolutely Tyler can be focused on his mission, but it doesn't mean you can only do one thing at a time in your life. So he's got to learn to multitask.
But also say I think Tyler's issue with Caroline and Klaus is because it's Klaus.
Yeah.
It's the person he's fighting against.
Yeah,
you know?
and also a bit of jealousy anyway. There would be jealousy anyway, right? But yeah.
So we saw that Hayley knows the professor.
Oh, that Hayley.
As Damon clocked.
Yeah. So what do we think? Why?
We don't know what the professor's angle is. This is my problem.
Like I said, he either wants to... What's his name? I want to say Aslan, but it's not Aslan because that's Narnia.
Atticus.
No.
Silas.
Oh, sorry, that guy. No, the professor's name is Atticus.
Atticus Shane, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he either wants to wake up or he is, or he wants to wake up and then become, or God knows what, Silas. So that's his mission, I think, at the end of this map or whatever. But I don't understand what he needs the hybrids to be unsired for. Why does he need them?
Shady Shane. Shifty Shane.
Shifty shitty Shane.
Damon wanting answers.
And he did kind of admit that he was a mass murderer, didn't he? He made a joke of it.
No, he said about being accused of being a mass murderer, and then when Damon got him on his own, he said, I must be the least intimidating mass murderer. Basically, you're coming back to me.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I didn't know if that was him just acknowledging as in give up the ruse, I spoke to the pastor that day, so I am the mass murderer. I don't know.
No,
but
he's basically saying, I can't be that intimidating if I'm a mass murderer, yet you're not scared.
Sorry, the sarcasm wasn't clear enough, I'm sorry. No.
But nobody's...
Do better.
But I'm quite disappointed in Damon there, because he didn't go, what's in this for you?
Yeah.
Which would have been a useful answer to have. I mean, I'm not saying he would have got the answer, but it would have been nice to at least have tried.
I just want to know, is anyone cluing Bonnie in?
That's
or are we
true.
just leaving Bonnie to be hypnotised by this man?
Yeah.
Every week.
Someone needs to tell. Yeah.
Someone needs to have a chat with Bonnie. Look, dude, we thought he was shifty originally, but now he's even shiftier. Fella.
But he said to Damon, didn't he? He's the only one that can help her get her magic back. For the cure and everything, so...
And that he needs a Bennett witch.
Which understands why he was with Grams as well. But...
Jeremy.
Oh, poor dude.
I
would say they're even now, though. Like siblings, man. You're even.
Stab
You
each
stab
other
me in
in
the
the
neck, I
neck,
stab you
yeah.
in the neck, we're even.
But that impulse is there.
It makes sense a lot from Connor. Because like I said, I found him very, very intense, very aggressive, very loud, very shouty for his mission.
He wasn't concerned about the public seeing.
No.
Or...
No. And so it makes sense what they were saying, that hunter impulse gets stronger and stronger.
And we know he can't be compelled.
Yeah, interesting. And he's mad strong. He picked up them 2 beer kegs.
Well, and he threw Stefan across the room.
Yes. Yes. I mean, in that respect, I like Jeremy not being
weaker.
Such a vulnerable human. I like the fact that he's got a bit of strength on his side now. But shame about the crazy thing.
And you know what? Stefan should count himself lucky that there's still enough of Jeremy left that he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
That he stabbed him in the stomach and left.
Yeah,
because
and left.
But Stefan was being a dick.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
Even though he's still trying to be a bit ethical about turning people into vampires.
Yes, he chose the horrible man in the
Because
hospital.
he was clearly looking for someone who was probably going to die anyway.
Yeah, and
then
it just
he
and the
found-
fact that he was a horrible person, he was like, well, fuck you then. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously then Jeremy wants to kill Elena.
The compulsion. I mean, he woke up with the steak, and again, we don't know how he got it. Did he carve it? But he woke up and it had the stuff in it. So
I think the point is that he's whittled that in his sleep.
Of course, in his sleep.
That's why he had the knife as
Jesus,
well.
sorry, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I thought he'd just woken up and he was ready for battle.
And I think he'd done
He'd
those in
done
his
it.
sleep.
Whoa.
Although my main concern there is, oh my God, could you imagine having wood chippings in your bed? Oh, it'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That'd be like crisps or toast. Or... yeah, and obviously now
Living
Matt
with
has
Matt.
moved in.
I
But
love
then Matt
that,
was
though.
able to get through to him at some level.
Yeah.
When he was going to kill
Like you said,
Elena.
because
Well,
he's a
because
human.
Matt's angle is, I'm human.
Yeah.
So there's
And
no
that-
judgment there from
there's-
Jeremy. There's no
But
guarded.
also, there's no I need to kill. There's no instinct to kill him, is
Yeah.
there?
But it's like he can believe him, whereas it's almost like he's got it in his head. I can't believe anything a vampire says.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
with Jeremy, with Matt, he doesn't
he
have
can,
that.
yeah.
I kind of like that though, because I love it for Matt, because let's face it, he's been out in that house by himself, and now he's got like a bestie to have a little bit of bachelor pad. I think it'd be really nice if you can get to see them have a bit of a good time.
I also think it does add up, because for Elena to leave, she doesn't want Jeremy just left there on his own, especially with what he's going through. So it makes sense that she would accept, okay, well, Matt's going to be there. I can trust him.
Yeah, we know that he won't hurt
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah.
And that I can trust that. And because Matt told her. So we know Matt's not going to keep secrets.
Yeah. And Matt, although he is still human, he's not completely helpless.
Yeah.
So I think Matt knows, he's got his wits about him. So yeah, and he'll keep them all in the loop and whatnot. So yeah.
Although, the fact that she went to the Salvatore house,
I think was a bit of a dick move, to be honest.
I think so.
Yeah, like you said, she could have gone to Matt's house.
You could have gone and lived in Matt's house by yourself, Caroline's house,
so
Bonnie's
Caroline.
house.
Yeah.
You can compel yourself a house. You can compel yourself a hotel room.
Wait
Luxury
a minute.
hotel.
What if it was because the sire bond? So if she has to go somewhere, she's drawn to where Damon is. Maybe it's just that. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Maybe.
And also, the second you arrive there and Stefan says, "I'll go and crash somewhere else," your immediate reaction to that should be, "No, you're right. I shouldn't be here. This is your house. You stay in it."
But that's all the more I'm saying is she's not in her right mind with this sire bond.
Not. Yeah, alright, see you later.
Yeah.
I'm going to get freaky with your brother while you're gone.
Close the door on your way out.
I'll get mine.
But can I also say, so Stefan has left his house.
Yeah.
He's gone to Caroline's.
Yeah.
Where Elena should have gone.
Yeah.
I was saying that her and Caroline were not in a good place.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what's going? So if Elena, I don't know, wakes up or they get this sire bond relaxed or whatever it is, I wonder how they're all going to feel. Is she going to be like waking up from being drunk and be like, "Fuck, I slept with your brother"? Is there going to be any way back? I don't know. Oh.
And how will Damon feel?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel sad. He wanted it to be genuine first choice.
And how will Elena feel? Because if she feels like this is how I feel...
It's basically being gaslit by herself.
Yeah, because imagine that. You're like, "I love this person." And someone's like, no, it's just a drink talk. And you'd be like, no,
Yeah.
I know how
That's
don't...
what I mean. The only way is if it's literally switched off for her and she gets back to her place, but then I'm scared for her of what if she gets
But
there
then-
and then she's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Presumably the sire bond could be turned off. And then if she still feels the same, well then that's a different answer, isn't it?
Again, the Vampire Diaries are great at giving us an answer that gives us questions. Question from Juliana.
Hello.
I don't know if you're American or it's just the way you wrote it, but you wrote, "Do y'all?"
I say y'all, and I'm from.
Do y'all feel
I love it.
that Elena betrayed Stefan? Because I think a lot of people do. Stefan and Elena break up, and then she basically kicks Stefan out of his own house when she could have gone anywhere else besides her ex-boyfriend's house.
Yeah.
And in the same episode, gets with Damon. It's not even a day later.
Yeah. That's like what we were talking about before, wasn't it? About how we feel about... absolutely, she could have chosen to go somewhere else. That's a bit shitty. But if she was not quite in her right mind because that sire bond was thinking for her, maybe that explains a lot. But we are, I think, going to wait to see how strong that sire bond is and if that's to blame. I did say, didn't I, previous episode, I wanted, after the breakup, I wanted her to have and that's where I think where my thinking went for Caroline as a friend, is that's the way to stay in your good books as your friend, is I would have been encouraging her to have a little bit of time on her own. But again, is that because that draw of the sire bond is too much? Because I do think that I feel like Elena, sorry, not to undermine her, but I feel like Elena, without the sire bond in her right mind, would have given it some time. But I could be wrong.
I'm telling you, she just wanted some
Hot vamp sex.
Hot vamp
vampire
sex.
and
But,
she was like, "I'm going to get it here because Stefan's too lovey-dovey and I can't be asked."
Yeah.
I don't know about betrays him, but I think, how can you think you can have a friendship going forwards?
Yeah, I'm not sure she's betrayed him because
They're not together.
he clearly left the property for a reason. Like, he left the house for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she turned up.
I'll just leave.
Yeah, she turned up and he was like, I'm out. Like,
But he's also avoiding spending time with Damon at the moment
yeah, of
as
course
well.
he is. But
Yes, I mean, I don't think it's because he was like, could
No.
smell the tension in the air. I think it's just, I don't
I'm
want to
not
be around
saying
this.
that. I'm like, he could have stayed and he's gone, I really don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So he's left them alone, so he's
Yeah.
not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he knows she's in love with him. He knows Damon's in love with her.
It's funny you say that. Is it? Well, for Damon it's love. For Elena we don't know.
Well,
Because
she
now
was
it's
in love,
this
but
bond.
Elena was in love with Damon before she turned. She just chose Stefan.
And so now we have to know that it was her choice in her right mind. Still would be the same choice if you were to remove the sire bond. So
But
I don't feel it's betrayal, because I feel that she did try to conduct herself in as honest a way as possible. Although it was Stefan that initiated the breakup, she knew it was the right thing to do, and nothing too much obviously happened when they were together. So I don't feel it's betrayal. But like I say, I'm waiting to find out how strong this sire bond is, because there's almost potentially, is any of this her in her right mind? How strong is this compulsion that's making her do these things?
And I would also say about Elena's betrayal, it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Damon also has a relationship with Stefan. It's not like he's a random.
Yeah.
And I think they're both being inconsiderate of someone they both care about. Do you know what I mean? You're not considering the impact on him. Yes, he may know that this is going to come, but right now, does it have to be right now?
Yeah.
You have eternity, you're vampires.
It's true. I feel like, not to undermine Damon as a guy, thinking with one brain or the other, but I feel like he would have let Elena set the pace. If Elena had said, I want to, need a couple of days, before she said anything, I think he would have accepted that or whatever. I think that it was Elena leading that pace on everything, and he obviously was willing to accept, because he's been hoping for this.
I agree that she's setting the pace, because when obviously his first priority when he heard about the breakup was to do something with Stefan.
Yeah.
He didn't go to Elena at all. When she came to him and wanted to talk about why they'd broken up, it was because she clearly wanted him to know.
Yeah.
He didn't seek that information.
Yeah. It's her. She's setting the pace. But I also don't think Damon at that point was strong enough to
argue
deny
it. No.
Yes.
Amber Augustine. Another one who says Jarl. Am I the only person who doesn't say Jarl? What did Jarl think about Elena telling Stefan that this is who she is now? Caroline, Bonnie and Stefan can't seem to accept that Elena has changed and is a vampire now.
Yes.
Some people around her were saying she wasn't the same person, when in reality it's natural for people to change over time.
Yeah.
She's a vampire and people need to learn to stop judging her so much. Damon was the only one that accepted her change and never ridiculed or judged her. I would love to know your thoughts.
That's kind of what we said before, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
I
we
feel
were
like I agree.
Damon accepts her for her, and the others are a bit more...
But then Damon's moral compass, you could say, is different to those other three characters.
Yeah.
The other three, not so much Caroline up to this point. Caroline now a little bit, not... But the other... So Stefan and Bonnie, like we've said before, their moral compass is very much they are right and everybody else is wrong.
They can lean into self-righteous
they can
territory.
go a bit self-righteous. You kind of whereas yes, Damon's is a bit theirs is a bit like, well, it's my way or no way. So if I deem that this is acceptable, then this is acceptable. But if I deem that it's not acceptable, then I'm going to bitch about it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Whereas Damon's not really like that. Damon, yes, his moral compass is fluid, but he just does what he wants, sort of like.
But he does throw a strop if he doesn't get his own way.
He does throw a strop, but he's quite open about what he does. Whereas the other two, as we've seen, can be a bit shady. And Caroline I'm a bit disappointed with, because you would think that having changed herself, maybe she would
I'm curious to see over the next episode, or however many this is going to last for, I'm curious to see how much of her, who she is now, how she's presenting now, is her as a vampire versus this sire. Right now, they're so intertwined, one in the same, it's kind of difficult for us to say that's just a newer, different, because you're right, people change over time. That's sort of this, version of Elena versus she is being driven by something else, which is making her a version of herself, which is actually not her. So I can't say that, but it's interesting from the people that would know her the most to see such a drastic change. But I don't know. I think maybe, again, if I was in Bonnie or Caroline's shoes, it's almost like that balance between having your suspicion of being like, it's just not sitting right with me, something. I feel like there's something else going on here, but yet not outwardly saying either to your friend and to everybody else you know, this is not you, because that's just going to make them feel like shit.
Yeah.
I think there's a way you can find a way to be supportive of your friend, but still maybe have your reservations of kind of like, I'm just going to keep my ear to the ground because something's not sitting right with me.
Selena, now having seen up to 4 seasons, what do you think draws Elena into Damon, excluding the sire bond, and Stefan? And what do you think makes her think of the other one when she's with Stefan or Damon?
Oh.
Basically, I think they can be quite opposites on things. And so maybe when she's getting one opinion or side of things, she's automatically already thinking of the other.
It's quite codependent, isn't it? She's sort of developed this codependency for all of them.
Well, we've seen her though go to the brother that she thinks is going to give her way.
Yeah.
Depending on things.
We have said, haven't we, I mentioned, I think this was the last one, I feel like Stefan maybe is the perfect partner for her for all of her human values, whereas Damon is almost better suited to her as her vampire values. But again, now I'm questioning that because I really am curious to see who she is as a vampire away from this sire bond and how much that's leading her judgment and her opinions. But
if we say without the sire, what do you think, like even as a human, she obviously had feelings for both. What do you think draws her to each one?
Okay, first of all, they're both fun as fuck.
Well, apparently that's the only reason we agree with anyone or like anything is because of their hotness, which...
No, not at all, no.
The only reason I like people.
You know.
It's why you're friends with me.
Exactly that, mate. Exactly that.
So I think Stefan has a lovely moral compass, and I feel like Stefan is an old soul.
Well,
and
he's
old.
old.
Yeah, no, that's it. But you know what I mean? He's got that old soul, that warmth, that dapper chivalry, kind of nice gentleman. Yeah, he just wants to... I feel like Stefan wants to grow old and be old people on the porch in their little swinging chairs,
you know,
watching their grandkids run around.
Being with Stefan, first of all, you know you're protected, but you would have a happy, comfortable life, and he would go out of his way to make you
He's
happy.
a provider and a protector, and he's lovely, and he's warm, and he's homey.
But again, that's the what do I get from him side of a relationship, not...
Stefan is the safe option.
Was the question what he brings to her, or why she's...
No, I'm just saying, when you put it into that perspective, I'm basically saying, this is what he will give to me.
Right. But no, seriously, that sounds selfish, but you've got to think like that in terms of relationship.
Stefan is the safe option and the, like, comfortable option.
Yeah.
And Damon is the more risky, probably more exciting option.
Yeah, I feel like Damon is someone... So Stefan is someone you could pick out houses with, where you're gonna, like I say, a little front porch where you're gonna sit in rocking chairs and drink lemonade on the porch in the south, I'm imagining. That kind of grow old together. Damon is the fuck it, let's go for the weekend to Paris and live life to the fullest, live life on the edge. So there's
spontaneous.
Yeah, but there's different loves of life there that I think she's drawn to. And I think it's interesting because she probably doesn't know what she wants yet.
Yeah.
And so that's why she kind of wants both. And I would say this if it was a guy as well, so I'm going to say it as a girl, there's possibly an element of, was it wanting your cake and eating it too? And that's why it's hard to decide, because neither of those is a crappy option. It's easy to cut somebody out as an option when you know they're bad for you. There are, fucking red flags all over the place. But when both of them... They both got red flags. They both got red flags. So, Stefan being so self-righteous, can you imagine that in an argument? Or Damon being so go off rogue because he thinks he knows best and whatnot, and not respecting her decisions, things like that. So, which is much more human. Yeah, I think both of them present really cool options and really different types of love that...
Yeah, because Selena said... Personally, I think Damon challenges her, but is an arsehole.
Yeah.
Stefan is good and pure, but maybe a bit boring.
Yeah. That's a really good way to sum it up. I think so too. I agree.
Also, another question. I like this question. If you could choose one villain and one good guy, in quotes, to team up to be an unstoppable duo, who would it be?
Stefan and Klaus.
Oh.
I liked the very small Damon and Klaus we got when they were after Connor. Remember when he was like,
Oh yeah.
about a bit, I fought this guy. He's like, oh yes, I'm as bad as they are.
So you have to
Love
pick a
that.
good guy and a bad guy.
I'll also say, if we're counting Damon as a bad guy, which he was originally.
Well, that's why I was questioning.
Mason and Damon, I loved that.
Mason and Damon's a good one. Where is Elijah? Where's my Elijah?
and Damon were quite good if we're counting.
Where's my Elijah? Is he good or bad? Because
If we're counting Damon as a bad guy, Alaric and Damon.
I loved Alaric and Damon. I loved Dick. It's so good. Rick and Damon. But yeah, I'd like to know where Elijah is because
I'd probably put him on the good side.
okay. In which case, Elijah and Klaus for that sibling rivalry, I think would be funny because was it over dinner and stuff, and they have the funny bickering.
What about the girls? Bonnie and Catherine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Bonnie has the power to keep her.
Yeah.
I said not in
to
check,
hold her own.
but yeah, to hold her own.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good one. Okay, wait, because I feel like all the women have been good. Because I'm thinking about Lexi and
Catherine.
Rose. Literally, Lexi, Rose.
Rebecca could go either way.
Rebecca could well. Hayley.
Yeah.
Dick.
Witchy Mum, Original's mum.
Oh, Esther.
Mm.
Don't say her name around Erin. She gets really irate about it.
Esther and Grams.
Oh.
Because.
Okay. Now that you know Elena is side to Damon, looking back, what do you think about their interactions ever since she turned into a vampire? And what will their future relationship look like, since Elena technically has no free will, just like Tyler didn't? Although I will say with Tyler's sire bond, I think what we saw was he had free will until Klaus directly wanted him to do something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like at all times he was only thinking about Klaus and what Klaus wants. It was if he'd been told.
Also, he wasn't in love with Klaus. It didn't make him want to sleep with him, did it?
Oh, that would be hot though.
I'm just saying.
There's your team up.
This is why I'm not convinced that the sleeping with Damon is to do with the sire bond, because, you know.
Interesting.
I don't have one and I'd do it.
Well, yes, but also Tyler did have one and it didn't make him want to jump Klaus, did it?
Sorry, I'm just laughing now. What was the question?
What do you think about their... Now we know about the sire bond, what do you think about their interaction since she became a vampire?
Right.
I think the difficulty is that we don't know if... I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but there's no intent... It doesn't appear that there's any intent behind anything that's happened.
On Damon's part?
Yeah, so the interactions... They both believe are genuine.
Yeah.
Neither of them knows anything, so they both believe those interactions to be genuine. So as far as they're concerned, they're acting of their own.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't outright said to her, like, you must do this.
Well, there is also the issue that Stefan did say in that conversation with Caroline, he said to kill Connor, so she killed Connor.
Like that's the level.
Would she have done it?
Yeah.
Because remember we said about her guilt and whether, because she could have knocked him out, she didn't have to kill him.
Yeah.
But now it kind of makes you go, oh.
Yeah.
But again, we don't believe that there's... Well, I don't believe there's any intention behind that, so I don't think...
No, he didn't know.
That does add another level to it, yes.
But I think they're just pointing out how strong her obedience is.
Yeah.
To actually get her to kill someone just on his say-so. Yeah. No, I don't know, because right now I don't know how to separate the two. I will say one thing I think, okay, if I can try and separate from the sire bond and what effect that might have had, one thing I think that Damon, regardless of any sire bond, Damon would have been, would have been a good influence in her life, I think, in terms of her coming to terms with the fact that she is now some type of predator, and that there is a way that you can drink blood and not kill anyone, like when he taught her at the party. And especially the way he was teaching her, he was like, no, not her. He was like, look at him. And he was roofing the drinks, and he was like, yeah, fuck him, like, go and drink on him.
Oh no, Elena spotted him, but he just was like,
that's it,
I like your plan.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he was a good influence in her life in that respect, whereas I'm not so sure I can see Stefan taking her to a party and kind of learning.
It's because he can't do it himself. And
exactly,
so he can't risk.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there is definitely a level of acceptance, as we've said, for Damon towards Elena, of that people, you know, are not all in the I'm good, I'm bad. It's a mixture of the two, and I think that stands true even without the sire bond. I was just thinking
back over some scenes that I'd kind of forgotten about. That at the time I remember thinking, oh yeah, sire bond. When she was, remember in her kitchen, she was feeding on Matt and she didn't stop, and Damon stepped in, and when she jumped forward at Matt, he just said to her, stop.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
We took that as her being like snapped out of the zone, you know.
Yeah. But actually it was an order.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I think Damon is a good relationship with her.
Damon said it has to be from the vein, so she can't drink from anywhere else.
Yeah.
Didn't that whole thing come about because she was getting sick from drinking from the blood bags?
She was throwing up the blood bags,
and animal blood.
Yes, but that was before he'd said about the vein.
No, straight away he was saying she's a vampire, she needs to drink from blood from the vein and get it over with.
Oh, I see.
And then he said, I think the line he said to her before she went out with Stefan was that she won't be able to stomach it, the animal blood.
Yeah. Interesting, and that sounds like an order, doesn't it, rather than a question.
But in fairness,
well, no,
if they know this now, he can probably fix that.
Not even just an order, but the sire bond, as Tyler explained it, was it's like faith. You just believe what he's telling you is what you believe. So if he says you can't stomach it, I can't stomach it.
Okay, so thinking of that, what you guys have just said, Kat, what did you just say?
I said that means now they know he can undo it.
What if he can order her to not be sired to him anymore? What if that's the answer? But obviously that means he's going to have to run the risk of that. If I order her not to be sired to me anymore, I run the risk of losing what I've just got. Oh shit!
Yeah.
What if it's that? Do you know what I mean? What if there is no magic curse or whatever they've said, they're familiar with it happening once every, just rare or whatever. But yeah, what if he can order the reverse and all of these things? If he's said them by mistake, flippantly, not knowing, what if he can undo it? What if he can order the bond done? God, that'd be a tough ask, wouldn't it? Because he's gonna be like, no, I've just got her. But yeah, but no, I think separate from the bond, I think Damon had. I was kind of glad that she had both Damon and Stefan around, and obviously Caroline and Bonnie and all that. But I was glad that she had both of them for turning, because I do think they bring different ways of looking at being a vampire and accepting it. But I think Damon more so. I think Damon allows her to accept the predator side of her more, where it's almost like he'd teach her how to drink blood from the human or not do any harm, but if someone happened to die, like, he would forgive her. He wouldn't see that as like, oh, you've killed someone, as in like bad knock on her. And so I feel like you kind of need that grace from someone, But
I feel like Stefan wouldn't turn on her for that. I think he would be supportive.
No, but I think that she would feel worse about it in front of him because of the way he looks at her and how he puts her on a pedestal. So there's more room to fall there, whereas with Damon, he takes all the rough around the edges and everything, and if anything, he loves it. He loves the fact that other people might fuck up as well, because he does too. You know what I mean? Whereas, so it's not necessarily that Stefan would hold it against her. I just think that she would see herself in Stefan's eyes and feel more pressure, whereas it doesn't have that with Damon. Damon is more willing to embrace the animalistic side of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So that was our reaction to The Vampire Diaries Season 4, Episode 7, My Brother's Keeper. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.